What's up, WWE Universe? Guess what? We are just 8 days from Backlash, and my god, things are really starting to hit up here in WWE. Raw, as always, was there. The action began as Sami Zayn returned back to action and questioned the actions of both Rollins and Heyman. Rightfully so, as the two have been despicable since WrestleMania. Rollins pleaded Zayn to get off Raw and move to Smackdown, which will in turn avoid him from becoming the target of the new so called corporate alliance. Paul Heyman even offered him a title shot, which is questionable as if he has so much power. Why isn't Rollins a champion in the first place? Also, why didn't he do the same thing for Roman, the guy he'd been aligned previously for years? Anyway, moving on, Zayn, being the babyface that he is, declined the offer, which led him to face Braun Breaker later that night. Rhea Ripley and Roxanne Perez was up next and they certainly put up a show. Prodigy is certainly getting a push on the big roster. Though the match ended when Julia attacked the Eradicator and the match ended in a disqualification. Io Sky then came out and attacked her NXT opponent, Roxanne Perez, and then Julia, and in turn saved her old friend Rhea. Where will this go? I see tag team action up next with Rhea and Io teaming up to face Julia and Perez. We'll still need to wait for the fog to clear to determine who will take the control in this hated rivalry. Logan Paul then confronted Jey Uso and challenged him for the title. Oh wait, how's this douche getting a title shot before the former champ Gunther gets his rematch? He certainly has a rematch clause, doesn't he? I believe the creative really needs to step up in telling good stories that amidst the chaos that was WrestleMania, this really was the time to set up a formidable opponent for Oz. Though I'm happy Logan Paul will finally get the beating he so desperately deserves. Four Raiders were up next, and the former champs defeated Finn Jobber and Jobber McDonald, with little help from Bent, who was on the ring side to prevent Cockroach Corridor from interfering in the match. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Judgment Day, in my opinion, have been the saving grace in faction wars over the past couple of years. And now they are just cast aside to make way for whom? Dominic Mysterio? I mean, I'd really pay to see the IC title on Hornswoggle than Dominic at this point. If only Braun Breaker gets his rematch, I'm pretty sure he'll send Mysterio straight to Mexico. Though I don't think that will ever happen, as at this point, Braun's moved from main eventer to sidekick in matter of weeks. Becky Lynch cut a good promo explaining why she is the real deal and took responsibility of attacking Bailey back at Mania. No investigation required. The man is what's exactly required to elevate the women's intercontinental division. She and Lyra Valkyria then got into a brawl that will surely go up until Backlash. NXT Women's Champion Stephanie McMahon was there on Raw as she convincingly defeated Ivy Nile in what was a filler of a matchup. We know Ivy Nile was never going to be a formidable opponent for the NXT champ, and I believe this was only there to push the runtime show for the Netflix. Pat McAfee then cut a promo and addressed the actions of the ring general last week, which led to Nick Aldis, who stepped in for Adam Pearce this week, set up a bout between the ring general and Pat McAfee. Like, are you serious? From being the world champion to defend the title at Mania to wrestling ring announcers? We have seen wrestlers feud with announcers in the past, but this may be one of the worst ever. McAfee is nothing but a sportscaster, and his promo skills are the only reason he's gone this far. I think he should have been announced as a special guest referee in match between Jay and Gunther, but having a match of his own is just unacceptable at this point. Braun Breaker then destroyed Sami Zayn in what was a David versus Goliath battle. Except Goliath hit David with three spears and fourth after the referee called for the bell to request for medical attention for Sami Zayn. If that wasn't enough, Seth Rollins then curb stomped his head in the ring, sending him back to medical where he came from in the first place. They literally tried to murder the honorary Uso, and the crowd asking for more was nothing short of pure evil. Well, I think John Cena had a point after all. Moving over to NXT, the Dark Star dominance continued at this time. They laid waste to the TNA champion Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. There is a revenge on the cards, and the Dark State have made enough enemies on the show who will gladly align with the TNA World Champion to put an end to this deadly faction. Ricky Sainz then took down Lexus King, who still looked baffled by his loss last week to Noam Dar. Sainz is leaving the tree right now, and I'm eager to see who his next opponent would be. With Rick Williams still demanding a title shot and Eva announcing a battle royal for the number one contender next week. The Undertaker introduced four challengers to challenge the ruler. This time coming from LFG, it is Shiloh Hill, Anthony Luke, and Jasper Troy. It's good to see new challengers, and NXT never disappoints. Sol Ruga continued her dominance in the division by defeating Carmen Petroid with the Soul Smasher, and just like that, Ruga smashed another soul that envisioned to challenge for the gold. The newly crowned tag team champions Hank and Tank defeated Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Nomura. But the match of the night, which was also the main event, was Io Sky and Jordan Grace taking on the newly formed tag team of Julia and Roxanne Perez. The four women put on a show for the NXT universe with Io Sky coming through as the combined effort of Julia and Roxanne Perez. Just wasn't enough. Smackdown was electric as ever as the show kicked off with LA Knight and Damien Priest taking shots over the mic before facing each other in one-on-one about and put on a good match. Aggravated by their losses last week, both men gave their all, but it ended in disqualification as Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu attacked both Priest and LA Knight, putting the latter through the announcer table. This year's title reign comes with so much terror for anyone close to contention. Fraxium then set the pace for the night as they went up against Pretty Deadly and punished them for being too cocky backstage. 2 weeks in a row now for the new team in the division. I can see them reaping profit surely in the coming weeks. Matching Aleister Black in his own game was a huge mistake for The Miz, as he was led to waste by the Black Mask pinning kick just like the last week. The match in itself was alright as it helped set up Black as formidable opponent for the US Championship, I suppose. Seeing Black versus Fatu is not something we'll get to witness anytime soon, but I have my fingers crossed. Hopefully soon. Also, you'd not want to miss the cartwheel counter to the skull crushing finale. That was something. The new US champion Zelina Vega was up against Piper Niven, and I'm still not sure why Vega is the champ. The story about underdogs stealing the championship is commendable, but Green really elevated both the division and the championship with her greatest of all time persona. Her reign should have stood just like Gunther, who held the Intercontinental title as it helped him gain momentum and finally win the big gold, which was the World Heavyweight Championship. Only time will tell how far Zelina Vega can go. Spoiler alert, I don't think it will go far. From one US champ to another, Nick Aldis then set up a mega match for Backlash where the champ Fatu will defend the gold not only against one, two, but three opponents in fatal four-way match. And he'll take on Damien Priest, Drew McIntyre, and the former champ LA Knight. Oh boy, match of the night. It certainly caught my attention. 14 times world champion then stepped in the ring and spoke about how Cena manipulates the merchandise and how he's going to put him down for good, once and for all. Legendary joke from the legend killer, but it's gonna be in his hometown, so I'll cut him some slack. Like our truth said, his childhood hero will retain from backlash. Backstage, Santos Escobar wasn't his usual self recruiting the luchadors, but he chose the wrong guy to mess with in Rey Phoenix. After Rey declined, they got into a match that was certainly explosive. Chop after chop, it was a hard hitting contest and both put a spectacular show. The burst of adrenaline by Rey Phoenix in the latter half is what helped him to grab the win and forget the bot that was the Andre the Giant tournament, which he should have never lost in the first place. The flight of the Phoenix continues on the blue brand. Nia Jax and Naomi went up against Red and Tiffany in the main event, and this felt like a four-woman shootout rather than a tag team match, as much of the action happened outside the ring. With Jade pounding on Naomi and Nia Jax taking control of Tiffany in the early goings of the match. The physical presence of Nia Jax was also a dominating factor early on, and she and Naomi took the assault on their opponents. Nia was in pole position to close this bout as she hit Tiffany with the leg drop. But Naomi makes the tag that led to their downfall, allowing Jet Cargill to hit a powerbomb from the top rope and seal the win. A epic powerbomb from the top rope? Nah, Nia Jax isn't getting up from that. All eyes on next week. Who will be the new number one contender to challenge Tiffany for the title? We'll find out next week. There's everything that unfolded in WWE this week and my opinions on it. What are your thoughts on what happened this week? Please share your opinions in the comments below. Please share your opinions in the comments below. I cannot wait to hear from you. We are so close to backlash that I cannot wait for what's about to unfold come next week. As always, I'll be here to cover it as soon as it happens. Have a good weekend.